melody, oobop, shabam, a klugabop. Some tunes just have a way of cropping up at certain times in my life. The one that has provided the most entertainment and insight so far is the old Johnny Lee Wills tune, Rag Mop. Now my folks, jazzers that they were, just didn't listen to hillbilly music that much, but some of their friends and my babysitter sure did. I can remember how we'd go over to her brother's house on Saturday nights, and the record player or radio would be blaring away, featuring the latest hillbilly, western swing, country ditties, and Rag Mop, fun tune that it is, would invariably come blasting out. Everybody was cutting a rug. A while later, TV was a thing, and on Sundays, every so often, I'd watch the Beanie and Cecil show, and was very pleased to know that the Rag Mop spoof they were doing was one of the tunes I'd heard over at my babysitter's brother's place. Rag Mop came smashing back into my life in '73 at Brother Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers concert in Notre Dame, of all places. Hound Dog and the House Rockers took off from their regularly Sunday afternoon gig at Florence's Lounge in Chicago, but we all still met there at 54th and Shields around 3 p.m. Travel plans called for a two-car caravan on the way down, and I started out with Alligator Records honcho Bruce Iglauer and his girlfriend, but soon deuced out I was going to be stuck in Boringville for the ride's remainder. So I jumped in with the fellas and their dates, and before we made the city limits, hey Baba Rebop, this was more like it. During our traveling time, Canadian Mist with Coke as a chaser was a preference of choice, and spirits were kept high by the House Rockers' camaraderie centered around playing at a premier prestige concert hall and a good payday to boot. Brewer Phillips, the House Rockers' second guitarist, was chauffeuring, and as we entered the campus, bless his heart, he scraped Hound Dog's Cadillac against one of the driveway cement poles, and man, that caused all hell to break loose. Hound Dog started in accusing Brewer of deliberately trying to scratch up his caddy, and another king of all arguments between these two was on. They just wouldn't let it go, arguing while parking, unloading, and entering the backstage of the auditorium. I'd had enough. My enjoyable outing with the fellows was shot, and when knives were drawn, I wandered away from the action, ending up on the auditorium stage of all places, with the thought in mind to keep the college crowd entertained while everything got sorted out backstage. The only problem was my entertaining skills were totally lacking as far as music presentation was concerned. But hey, it only took me half a shake to look at drummer Ted Harvey's already set up hardware and reach way back and pull off my performance with the audience, a sing-along of, you guessed it, Rag Mop. The crowd responded in spades. After I finished, Bruce signaled that the fellows had agreed to put away their differences, at least for the time being. And while the band played on, I went backstage, found a sofa, and passed out until it was time to leave. In '82, I was holed up in the Hall of Loud Laughter, working as a night shift psychiatric nurse's aide in an evaluation center back in Wichita, Kansas. I was 6 months in working there, and cocky as all get out as far as looking at a patient and instantly measuring their worth. We made periodic rounds till daylight, and one night when I entered a room, I scanned how a lady was tied down to the bed for all she was worth and seemed to be on another mental plane, spelling out all her thoughts. N-E-E-D W-A-T-E-R. You get my drift. Well, I fell into my patented psychiatric AIDS, angel of mercy mode and decided it would be righteous and proper for me to try and reach outward and inward and communicate with this woman on some kind of level. When I snap judged she was probably around 55 and a country and western fan, our meeting of the minds plan was hatched. And I started in saying, I say A, I say A-B, A-B-C, A-B-C-D, A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I. And miracle of miracles, she caught my mental wave, lasting long enough to say her part. R-A-G-G-M-O-P-P Ragmop. Then she went back to where only she belonged. That accomplished, I kissed her on the forehead and back out of the room, contented enough knowing I pulled her into Mop Reality, if only for a time being. My name's Wes.